Omar. For those of you just joining us, a quick recap of the quarterfinals. Abu Omar is now facing against Alexei Telerov, who eliminated the Pro Tour champion Antonio Del Moral Leon. And the other side of the bracket, and the match which we are going to see, is going to be between Michael Bonde and Francesco Giorgio, who have eliminated Sergei Suchelski and Wenzel Krautmann respectively. We're going to head on down to the feature match area right now for the top 4 at GP Madrid.
Yeah, all the like.
Hello and welcome to the semifinals of Grand Prix Madrid. I'm your host Matej Zalkai here with Eduard Sajgali, and we got some 2 sweet decks coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Wenzel Krautmann basically talking to his friend and like showing him Francesco Giorgio's deck and going, "Oh no, I can't beat this. I can't beat this. It was just gonna be, it's over." But Michael Bonde's deck, solid free colors using all the duels that got opened in the draft.
Yeah, Michael Bonde actually, look at that. He goes plays the turn 3 Abbot and reveals the land on top, immediately plays. He's actually on a black-red deck, splashing white for Sentinels of the Eternal Watch and a Suppression Bounce, off of not only Battlefield Forge, but also Caves of Koilos and an Evolving Wilds.
Yeah,
great.
It's a pretty impressive, he decides to use all the mana fixing available to him.
Yeah, but Francesco Giorgio's deck is very interesting. He has double Consul's Lieutenant in a pretty good blue-white shell, and just overall his deck looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it looks more than good as well. Like, I mean, he also has a Sentinels of the Eternal Watch.
Yeah, that's true. So that's I would be hazard guess that the person who wins this match might be a favorite for the finals as well.
I mean, it depends. I haven't had a chance to properly look at Telerov's deck, but yeah, I mean, here you can see like both players developing themselves, and like the Void Mage basically negating Michael's turn 4 Automaton, really taking priority here. And yeah, I love the mana base here.
It's great, right? He says take some pain here.
Yeah, it's almost like watching Standard, right? Like Abbot of Curl Keep and Dual Lands.
Yeah, but Michael Bonde was forced to take 1 damage for the Nantuko Husk there. Also playing a Malakir Cullblade, which on this board doesn't look like it's going to grow much, but it will all depend on what Francesco Giorgio is going to play here. He has that Stalwart Aven Flyer pecking in. Let's see if he attacks here as well.
Yeah, Francesco is up 2 cards on Michael Bonde at this point. Well, at least in hands. But Michael's been very quick to get on the board. Although that Void Mage is actually a problem. Even at 2-2, it really stops quite a bit of Michael's potential aggression here. And as you said, the Stalwart Aven, it's going to be able to get in there for damage. But I see Disperse, Stratus Walk, Grasp of the Hieromancer, and as we spoke about, that's Sentinels of the Eternal Watch.
Yeah, but that costs 6 mana, and Francesco looks to only have 2. He's going to Stratus Walk up one of his guys. It's going to be the Separatist Void Mage.
I mean, that's pretty big in the sense that now he's decided to make his Void Mage a 2-2 flyer. Also, it can't block, so he's decided to take a very aggressive route here, keeping back the Stalwart Aven. You know, attacking for 2, having a 2-4 back is not so bad, although I don't think he can exactly block the Nantuko Husk.
Yeah, but he's in decent shape. He was just trying to draw some lands to get close to the Sentinel. And on the other hand, now next turn he will be able to play an Aspiring Aeronaut that he just drew off the Stratus Walk, so gumming up the ground with 2 more creatures.
Yeah, one of the nice things, though, is Francesco has assets here to Disperse. A card that I actually like to have in the blue decks, at least as a one-of, just because the tempo... this is a very tempo-orientated format, and Disperse can be really vital in certain situations. So here, while normally the Nantuko Husk couldn't be blocked, here Michael Bonde is going to attack with the Husk, and Francesco is just going to block with the Stalwart Aven. Yeah, and you can see, Disperse trading at least...
for a card.
For kind of a card.
And tempo. I think, like getting Abbott off the board. Now, Michael Bonde will just play 2 Nantuko Husks, but I don't think Francesco Giorgio will mind. Nantuko Husks don't really get better the more you have. So now if Francesco even can just start swinging with the flyers, if he has some sort of good follow-up. I know he has an Aspiring Aeronaut. Also, the Grasp of the Heavy Infantry also. At least it's a 3-4. That's pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes you have to play these cards like Heavy Infantry. And, yeah, it's important to do it.
Right, so there's an attack for 4, putting Michael Bonde down to 12, and heavy infantry tapping down in Nantuko Husk. And Francesco Giorgio can actually be pretty happy about how this game is turning out, because he will win the race against the 2 Nantuko Husks so far, unless Michael draws like a Sentinel that we know he also has. Oh, okay, that changes the math completely. Taking the heavy infantry with the active treason, swinging for 8, while also then sacrificing the heavy infantry. Francesco Giorgio down to 10 here.
Yeah, and that's why active treason is so good in these red-black decks. Is just that ability to not only use it to push through damage, but also make it a removal spell. Reminiscent actually have a card from Shards of Alara called Slave of Bolas, which for 5 mana does exactly what Michael Bonde just did. Takes the creature and then sacrifices it.
No need for a Nantuko Husk there with Slave of Bolas, but of course that was one of the premium cards of the format.
Yeah, it turns active treason from a solid pick to basically one of the best commons you could ever have, because it's removal spell plus damage, which is fantastic, of course.
Yeah, Francesco Giorgio, a tough decision here. He can play the Sentinel of the Eternal Watch that he has in his hand, or he could deploy something else, but he's just going to go for the Sentinel, and I believe he's going to swing at least with the Void Mage, but also as a Stalwart Haven, putting Michael Bonde down to 8.
Yeah, not a lot. And the thing here, though, is while we remarked earlier that the Nantuko Husk is not great in multiples, it's actually good here against the Sentinels, simply because tapping down one of the Husk is not going to get the job done. Michael Bonde can just swing in with the other. And yeah, as there's 4 creatures, he's not friendly lethal quite yet, but it's very close.
Yeah, it's very close. Taps down one of the Husks, and the other one is actually virtually attacking for 8. So Francesco has to be very careful about how he wants to play this.
Yeah, and just that threat of an activation from the Nantuko Husk means it's hard to block. Although this attack with the Malakir Cobblade is very...
It looks like it might be actually bluff, but Francesco Giorgio now has the win, because he has a Grasp of the Hieromancer in his hand, so he can tap. Oh, he could tap down the automaton, but there's also the automaton gains through life, so dead on the table, but not really against an automaton.
Sure, but what is? I'm trying to wonder what Michael Bonde is bluffing here, though. Actually,
and maybe he's bluffing a Titan Strength, just because if Francesco decides to block the Coldblade, he can sacrifice all his creatures and pump with Titan Strength, for example.
Sure, but then at the same time, you might as well just attack with the Husk. If you're trying not to represent Titan Strength.
Maybe, yeah.
So this is actually interesting. I mean, in Francesco's seat, I definitely don't block the Husk. Like, you don't want to trade a Husk and a Malakir Callblade for your Sentinels of the Eternal Watch. That's not good enough here. And as you said, he has the win in hand, so he just has to be careful. But like, I think you're blocking the Callblade is basically free. Michael Bonde is not going to play Celestial Flare. I mean, that would be greedy.
That would certainly be greedy. There's the block on the Coldblade. Now, Michael Bonde will certainly be sacrificing the Coldblade to pump up the Husk and bring Francesco Giorgio down to 6. But we know that Francesco will then play an Aspiring Aeronaut, creating enough blockers for his Flyers to steal a game in the long term.
Or he could just go for it. Grasp for the Hieromancer would be enough. Tapping down the Guardian Automaton, plus 8, well, 9 damage, but that's good enough. Negative life total. And yeah, it's just a question here. Yeah.
Ooh.
So, oh, wow, that's a very aggressive line. Makes the Husk into an 8/8.
Putting Giorgio down to 2 here.
And gaining free life in the process with the Guardian Automaton, which was actually quite vital there. That ability to gain free life at any time. And now Francesco obviously has to be very careful. But Michael Bonde doesn't have anything in hand. He might have figured that his best chance is to top deck a burn spell, such as the Lightning Javelin that I've seen him pick earlier in the draft.
Yeah. Well, he's probably playing to without realize that he couldn't probably win over an extra turn here. So he's just putting all his eggs into the basket, sacrificing all his creatures, putting Francesco Giorgio down to 2. Francesco has to be worried here. He can put Michael Bonde down to 3 with this attack.
Yeah, while Francesco could be worried here, there's nothing he can do. Like, he doesn't have any effects to stop this. So he's just going to play out all his creatures, the Aspiring Aeronauts. And yeah, that means that an Active Treason is enough. Yeah.
Oh, no Lightning Javelin, just a Mountain. So Michael Bonde went for it, didn't get there. And Francesco Giorgio showing up well, with a nice curve and some of the good parts in his deck. Not even playing a turn 2 Consul's Lieutenant, which he has 2 of.
Yeah, I know. I mean, at the same time, we have to note like how Bonde played that well. He realized once the Husk got in, actually, I have no I don't think I can win on the board. This is the last points of damage I'm going to be able to get through. So I'm going to sacrifice everything to the husk, get my opponent to 2, and just hope for the best. Didn't get there, but honestly, he gave himself the best chance because anything is better than 0.
Yeah, to be because if Michael Bonde hadn't sacrificed all the creatures, he would have probably sacrificed the Cull Blade to put Francesco down to 6. And but then what is he going to do against the Sentinel and the 2 flyers? All of them are going to attack. He's going to have to chump block with the Guardian Automaton, sacrifice it anyway to gain the 3 life. So yeah, I mean, I like the way Michael Bonde tried to actually win the game, even though he didn't get there.
Yeah, very good angle from him. It's always good to play cheer outs. Your chance of winning the game might be low, but it's always good to do so. The other interesting thing, though, is he did, on the flip side of things, he decided to take the Act of Treason and take the heavy infantry.
Yeah.
He could have kept that Act of Treason for the Sentinels of the Eternal Watch.
Yeah, he saw a lot of damage right away on the board. He was trying to keep up the pressure, but unfortunately wasn't there because I think he was banking on the fact that he has 2 Nantuko husks. So unless there was a way for Francesco to deal with both husks, he just thought like he would be able to put through enough damage, but it wasn't the case.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because the Sentinel is just so good, right? Tapping down the 1 and not having enough in the tank to get the other.
Yeah, and here you definitely saw the power of Sentinel of the Eternal Watch. Not just tapping down Michael Bonde's best creature. Well, there were 2 of them, but still. But also attacking for 4 and putting on the pressure and threatening lethal very, very quickly.
Yeah. Remember, these players certainly know slouches. Those of you who might not know, Michael Bonde is from Denmark, has 1 GP top 8. That was in Strasbourg 2013. I was very glad to have covered that event because it was won by his very best friend Thomas Enevoldsen.
Yep.
And they were both playing the same deck, so it was great to see the same deck played by friends make it into the top 8. So that was his only result, and he's really happy to have qualified for the Pro Tour again and get his 2nd GP top 8 under his belt, going 6-0 in day 2. And Francesco Giorgio also certainly no slouch. Francesco did play a couple Pro Tours last season, I think Vancouver and Honolulu, also played the World Magic Cup. Not doing too well at those Pro Tours just yet, but also won Magic Online PTQ, so certainly a player to look out for.
Yeah, one of the silver players in the UK, and I would say he's had still quite a good year. He's banked on his results from the World Magic Cup, and then continued with not incredible but solid finishes at the Pro Tour to get him the silver level, and confirming that level here with another GP top 8.
Yeah. And getting to both players are...
Oh, apologies. An actual first GP top 8.
First GP top 8. It's his first GP top 8, but I mean, World Magic Cup top 8 also somewhat counts. In a top 4, actually, I think.
Yeah, they got all the way to the top 4. I think that's the highest England's ever managed.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, well, there were free Italians on the team.
That helps, right?
Yeah, they're very good. I hear they're very good at Magic.
I also like that the 4th member his last name was English, so
it's perfect. Yeah,
it was a really pretty perfect team, though.
Yeah.
All right, so Francesco.
Yeah, he seems to be shipping it for 6.
Yeah, but not a lot of lands in these hands. I think there's like maybe 1.
None.
None.
Yeah,
no lands.
Shipping all the way down to 5. At least he's on the draw, so it's not as bad.
Yeah, and he has a pretty good early game with the double Consul's Lieutenant, Topen Free Blade as well, and he certainly came back into the game.
Yeah.
We saw Ashraf Abu Omar crush Lucas Blahon on a mulligan to 5 himself, just curving out.
Yeah, I remember that was incredible. 2-drop, free drop, just slam.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then to be fair, Lucas Blohan was on Mono Force in that game, so not fantastic.
I talked to Ashraf and his friends. They were like, they were saying like I would have bet my house on Lucas Blohan to win that game if he had drawn an island.
Yeah, and nope, he did not.
No.
But yeah, Ashraf making the best of Lucas Blohan, though, not drawing that island, being in the top 4 now, having beaten the unstoppable, or apparently stoppable machine in Fabrizio Anteri.
So 5 cards for Francesco is looking much better. I saw 2 planes, an island, and a Stalwart Avon. So certainly will have spells to play here.
Yeah, it seems like his spells are Bonded Construct and Stalwart Avon.
That's fine.
Yeah, the Construct usually actually pretty good at blocking.
Exactly, and I think it's going to... Francesco would be probably pretty happy at trading with the Malika. There's a turn to Consul Lieutenant, though.
Good draw there. Managing to get the Lieutenant down. And actually having, mulligan to 5 and still have an excellent curve.
There is a throwing knife, though, for for Michael Bonde there, so he will be able to deal with the Consul Lieutenant sooner or later.
Although quite in a really nice fashion, though, Francesco, if we've seen his hand correctly, has access to Stalwart Haven. So here, so here Francesco can simply attack with both creatures, because he doesn't mind if the Bonded Construct goes away, although he declines to attack here, and then simply play Stalwart Haven and force Michael Bonde to go, well, I can attack with my throwing knife and trade for your Stalwart Haven, or I can just throw away both cards to get rid of your Consul's Lieutenant, which is probably not the optimal play.
I think that's one of the reasons why Francesco kept back the Bonded Construct instead of attacking, because if Michael Bonde equips here and attacks, kills the Consul Lieutenant, the Cullblade will also grow to a 2/2. So while the Stalwart can block it, cannot kill it. So he would rather trade off the Construct for the Cullblade here. But we'll see if Michael Bonde has maybe some sort of 2-mana trick or removal spell.
I mean, I saw he decided not to play a very strong 4-drop in his hand in the form of Pia and Kirin Nalaar.
Oh, maybe that's why, because he does have Evolving Wilds in. There's an Imprint Tactician and swing in with the Stalwart Haven for 2, getting a Renown counter, but we know that Michael Bonde is going to play the Pia and Kirin Nalaar. His deck looking super solid.
Yeah, and I mean here Francesco's doing as good a job at it as he can. 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop.
Yeah.
I mean, you mulligan to 5, you get that. It's not so bad, but I think fundamentally Michael Bonde, being that overall a card up because he was on the play, and yeah, he has access to Priest of the Bloodright as well.
It's even better.
Although if Francesco gets to top deck his Disperse here, that is incredibly strong.
That would be really good if he did, yes.
Yeah.
So those of you that don't know what the Priest of the Bloodright is, a 5-mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you put a 5/5 Black Demon onto the battlefield, token of course, but at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life.
Yeah, so when the demon's dealt with, you're in a world of hurt. Although Francesco doesn't seem to have a way to deal with the demon, I'm pretty sure he would have just done it there and attacked for 2 extra damage.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like he has the Disperse here. And Michael Bonde will follow up the Priest of Bloodright, probably Pia and Kirin Nalaar.
Yeah, I might as well continue dropping those bombs onto the table.
There's not a bomb. The 4-mana 2/2. Chandra's Parents, as people like to call them, nets them 2 top tiers that they can be shot at, together with other artifacts that's creatures or players. Great card. Francesco curved up very nicely, but already at 6 lands, and on a 5-card hand, that's quite problematic.
It's very hard to deal with the card quality that Michael Bonde is presenting. I mean, for mulligan to 5, Francesco's really done as much as he could. He's curved out 1 to 4. Unfortunately, Michael Bonde with an extremely good draw, capable of dealing with the Consul's Lieutenant, and fundamentally starting to take over. Yeah, here taking the
active treason on the Imprint Tactician and swing in with everything. Looks like Francesco will block the Pia and Kirin Nalaar, but it looks like it's so close to lethal already here.
I'm actually counting if he blocks Pia, I think it's lethal.
Yeah, he has the Titan Strength, so pumps up the Imprint Tactician, and Francesco Giorgio with just 1 card in his hand is not much he can do here, I don't think.
No.
Oh, he has a Celestial Flare. Yeah, kills the Pia and Kirin that were blocking. Yeah, that's enough. So that we're going to head to Game 3 between Michael Bonde of Denmark and Francesco Giorgio of Italy/England.
Lives in England.
Lives in Oxford, he told me.
That's fair enough. Yeah, and that Celestial Flare was untimely by exactly 1 turn. If he had it the turn before, he could have attacked into the demon.
Yeah, it would have been much better.
Or he probably would have stayed back, actually.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that Michael Bonde decided not to run the 2/2 into the 2/4.
Yeah, same here.
Just because I mean, sometimes you don't because you think you're going to win the race, like in this case. But the 2/2 is such a liability. I mean, you want to get rid of it as soon as possible.
So the players are going to shuffle up for Game 3. Michael Bonde is excited about something, but we don't. Oh, his friends coming by, so he's like, "Yeah, I won a game. It's 1-1." Michael Bonde has a lot of friends and supporters, as I saw in the Twitch chat. So people rooting for him. He's definitely a fun guy to be around. And we are waiting for updates from the other semifinals between Ashraf Abu Omar and Alexa Tellerhoff, but they're still in Game 1, while these players are already shuffling up for Game 3.
I mean, have you seen how aggressive these games were?
Yeah, they were pretty one-sided, both of them.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's actually quite funny because Michael Bonde's just been a bubble of basically happy emotion, walking around, just smiling for every result, every win he puts in. That ticks in that box.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's been really happy so far. I think for him, actually, it's a great result regardless of what happens here. Both players, really.
Agreed. So let's see what the players can cook up for Game 3 here at GP Madrid. Definitely an exciting tournament, especially because Fabrizio Anteri managed to go 15-0 in the Swiss portion, but unfortunately has lost to Ashraf Abu Omar in the quarterfinals. So poor him, walking home with $1,000 and 4 pro points
And an invitation to the Pro Tour.
and a flight.
Yep, all the goodies. But yeah, still going 15. I mean, he felt like an unstoppable machine. Yesterday all day, today all day. Just it's like, oh, so what happened? Well, he was like a game down and like really behind on board. Oh, okay, and he won the match. Wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, watching him play as well. To be fair, he has turned around some of those matches. You know, every time his opponents gave him, a little bit of room, he just crushed them back.
Yeah. The first card Francesco Giorgio drew was a Council's Lieutenant. So, I think he's going to be very happy about his starting hand. That also includes an Inspiring Aeronaut, as Michael Bonde is mulliganing himself now.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, to be fair, actually, his mana base is pretty stable. He is splashing for Sentinels of the Eternal Watch, but between the two dual lands, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yeah, looking at Francesco's hand, he has the turn 2 play of Consul's Lieutenant, and then Aspiring Aeronauts, and for the late game, the Sentinel of the Eternal Watch.
Yeah, so either he's drawing some spells or he's drawing some lands. He should be good in either shape with this sort of hand. So
yeah, he's got the 2/1 first striker is pretty hard to deal with, and I don't believe Michael Bonde has access to Nightblight's Assassin. One of the best answers, but it'll be coming too late since he's on the draw. I have actually Nightblight's Assassin once a Consul's Lieutenant, and it felt like the most glorious moment.
Michael Bonde going down to 5. And with Francesco Giorgio having that Consul's Lieutenant, he's going to be in prime shape here.
Yeah, he's already paying attention to something else.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like to watch shuffling, so I just look over at the other semifinals and had a good laugh. It was a very good top 8, but in the quarterfinals we lost Fabrizio Anteri, Antonio Del Moraleon, as well as Wenzel Krautmann. A lot of pretty established European players.
Yeah, I mean, this top 8 was fantastic, actually. A lot of players confirming their first result or confirming, in Michael Bonde's case, his second. Because a lot of Michael's results come from, Eternal Magic, Vintage, Legacy.
Yeah.
And it's great to see him here in Limited, a very different take on Magic.
Yeah, Francesco Giorgio starting off with the planes here. He has Michael Bonde has the Pierre and Kieran Lar at least in his hand, but will he get there? And it's like, is this Council Lieutenant 1? Okay, just Subterranean Scout. I think Francesco might have another one. I'm not exactly sure.
That's fine. I think we're going to get, we're going to find out soon enough. So, yeah, it triggers Renowned here. Very powerful Fred as a free 2 first striker. 1 blue. Oh, Bonded Construct. Fair enough. Is it?
Just declaring the forward order.
Okay, we're okay.
Still, what a curve. 2-drop and then turn 3, 2 creatures. And now, remember, the Consul's Lieutenant, it attacks as pumps your team.
Yeah, this is like a lot of pressure. I mean, normally Michael Bonde would be able to kind of, turn the tides with a card as powerful as Pia and Kieran Nalar, but the Cleric of the Fourth Order being a free, as well as wow,
that's the Aspiring Aeronaut we mentioned,
yeah.
And I think we know that Francesco Giorgio, I think he has a Hydro Lash in his hand as well.
Hydro Lash, by the way, is not something you want to cast on your attack step.
Exactly, because it's attacking creatures.
Yeah, hopefully he does not do that. That would not end well. But thankfully, he won't get distracted. I think there's another Aeronauts to make sure he stays on message.
Again, attacks, pumps his team. That's a bunch of a big Thopter and a big Aeronaut as well as the other one. So
yeah, 2/2 flyer, 2 free flyer, free 2 first striker, free. This is not looking good for Michael Bonde, who just chump blocks the first striker. And yeah, he's about to take a lot of damage here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is Francesco considering the Hydro Lash? Please don't.
No. I think he has a Disperse in his hand.
Oh, okay. That's a fair enough.
You can disperse the token, so that makes sure that Michael Bonde has nothing, just the Pierre Kieran Lar and 3 lands, as well as a throwing knife in his hand. But this is way too late. I mean, he can kill the Consul's Lieutenant.
Yeah, and then take 4 damage going to 1. This doesn't seem very. Yeah.
Yeah, it's way too slow. So Michael Bonde now defenseless, and facing 4 damage from the attackers. Francesco Giorgio playing very fast, but he knows he's
Yeah.
very close to a win here.
Yeah, there is one out for Michael Bonde fans. If he active treasons the Thopter and then froze it at the Aspiring Aeronauts with Pia and Kieran Nallar's ability, he can then block the Cleric of the Forward Order and survive. Although the Gearcrafter does a good enough impression.
Yes, so it's a little worse because he's gonna have to block the Thopter and then shoot it at the Aeronaut just to survive. But at least he gets one more turn.
Yeah, it's not the absolute word. Yeah, so here
Cycles.
Francesco just cycles the Hydro Lash, realizes he's not the defensive player here.
Yeah, he's the one attacking, that's for sure.
Yeah, just that 1 point of life.
Yeah, Swift Reckoning in Francesco's hand, not the best in this spot. So Michael Bonde doing his best to survive. So blocking the Thopter, shooting the Aeronaut.
Yeah, still has access to
one.
the active treason play though. Killing that would kill the Cleric of the Forward Order.
That would be amazing.
I mean, you're at 5 cards. Oh, I like how he squeezed it. It's a smirk.
It's a smirk. It's a oh, it is
well,
Javelin. Okay.
Okay. I mean, it's not what you want, but sometimes you have to. You have to do what
He's
you
still
have to.
alive. Bottom's the land.
That must be like drawing a card, basically.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Michael Bonde, he also has like the pain lands in his deck that he can't use now. So.
Well, he can for colorless. Oh my gosh.
But there's a Sentinel of the Eternal Watch for Francesco Giorgio, and it's like, I have no outs.
I'm
I
done
have no
here.
outs to that card.
He's like, oh, I don't have an Unholy Hunger. My Kingdom for a card, not in my deck.
I was like,
This is not looking good for me.
No, certainly not. I think he has Caves of Koilos in his hands.
Yeah, that's quite insulting, actually. But yeah, it's to be fair, Michael Bonde has survived a lot longer than most would, but I think the writing's on the wall, unless he can produce something incredible. He does have access to a black card, but it seems to be a... Is that a Weight of the Underworld? Oh, it can't be a... Oh. It untaps the caves, just to represent.
Sure.
Dark Petition.
Okay. He's going to look through his decks like, yeah, let's see.
Yeah, you can see the active treason there. It wouldn't have been good enough
He
there.
has 2 active. He has a Fiery Impulse.
Yeah, Fiery Impulse seems like the pick.
Blazing Hell, Abbot of Carol Keep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his best answer to Sentinels is his own Sentinels, but he can't cast that because he's at 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is looking pretty bad. I mean, he's getting the Fiery Impulse, killing the Cleric, but this is not leading to a winning position.
Yeah, to anything relevant here. So Fiery Impulse on the Cleric. Forgot to tap down a creature here.
That's true.
It's a Sentinel.
Thankfully, it won't matter too much. Yeah, Michael Bonde just slams this creature to the bin. It won't matter here, which is why I think... Yeah, you remember.
Like, now I'm tapping it. And the players are having a grand time there.
Oh, Abbot of Carol Keep.
That's a good draw.
Whoa, Nantuko Husk. So if he draws an active treason now, there is a... I mean, Francesco, I believe still... Oh, no, he used a Disperse.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Disperse here. He does have Swift Reckoning in his hand.
Yeah, and Reckoning is going to be Swift.
So he's going to kill that in the turn. He's probably... He will be able to tag here. That's why he was doing it. Of course, he got rid of the creature. What a synergy! Sentinel and Swift Reckoning.
Yeah. He has another Disperse.
Yeah, he just drew Disperse here, which should mean that he's safe from any shenanigans. So he can attack here
pretty safely. Yeah, Abbott is going to bite it, and he's correct not to Disperse here. Simply put, if Michael Bonde has active treason, then he's like, do I? Yeah.
Okay, enthralling Victor.
Not quite the card he's looking for, but with no cards in hand, that's going to do it.
And there's the handshake. Francesco Giorgio through to the finals here. A match of 2 very interesting decks. Lots of power level on each.
Yeah.
And Francesco Giorgio, the Italian living in England, following in Fabrizio's footsteps as another Italian-based player living in England who's going to head down and try to make a name for himself on the GP scene. But we're going to go ahead to the other match between Ashraf Abu Omar and Alexa Telerov.
And whoa, what is going on here?
I think this is still game 1.
No, wow.
9-6. But
is that a Hangerback Walker on 6 versus Anissa?
And Nissa, Archangel of Tides, that has been claustrophobic, I believe.
Matej, you didn't tell me we're switching to standard here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Jeez, this is. I mean, look at this board. I'm trying to, make heads or tails of it.
Yeah, we had to zoom out again just to get the whole board, just to see everything that's there. But it looks like Ashraf is in a pretty good spot here with the Crone Jailer. Also has a Shaya as a 4/4 blocker. Nissa, an active Nissa that looks like Alexa does not have many ways of dealing with. So.
Yeah, and it seems like Alexa is not dealing as much pressure as Ashraf. He just attacks with the hanger back walker. But
Gideon's feeling okay. I think this game is
okay. I think we found the end game point.
Yeah. So there's the Gideon's phalanx. Gonna get 4 soldier tokens with vigilance.
Knight tokens, but
knight tokens. Yeah, sorry, Riley knight tokens.
That's fair enough. Yes. That I believe are indestructible. I mean, the game's lasted so long; they can only be indestructible.
Yeah, this
with spell mastery.
Yeah, this happens sometimes with and these sorts of stalled boards.
Yeah, I mean here, Ashraf seems so far ahead.
Reveals
it. Oh wow!
Tactician.
Yeah, just about to play it. Pump his board and attack in for
everything.
Metric tons of damage.
Also animates the Angel's Tomb.
Yeah. Animates it, makes it a 4/4 flyer. There's another 4/4 flyer there. Yeah, I mean, this is the writing's on the wall. I think we're gonna go to game 2. Yeah,
Alexa's like, yeah, I've seen enough.
It's like, okay, I know you're taking your time to attack, but I think we understand what's going on here.
Yeah. Also remember there was an Archangel of Tides.
Yes.
It means when it's tapped.
When it's tapped, Alexa has to pay 1 mana every time he wishes to block.
Yeah. So against such a big board. Pumped up by the Emperor Tactician, it's yeah. Okay, it actually has to be attacking. It doesn't edit tab. It has to be attacking itself.
Oh, fair enough. So
interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Claustrophobia, actually a clean answer to it.
Yeah, because it says as long as it's untapped, it has one ability, but as long as it's attacking, it has the other ability. So Ashraf Abu Omar winning that one. There's the Archangel of Tides. Thank you very much for bringing that one up. Now we know how it works.
Yeah.
It's a mythic rare you don't get to see it in draft very often, and hasn't made a splash in Constructed just yet.
Well, actually, it has. Sam Black at the World Championships played the White Devotion deck with Archangel of Tides.
I meant widespread. I'm not counting Craig Wesco fans.
There might be Craig Wesco fans in the audience, for all you know.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. The white creatures.
Also, Worlds was a different kind of tournament because they only played 4 rounds of standard, and Sam did exceptionally well in a lot of the other formats too. So,
yeah, that's fair. But yeah, both of these players. Tell us a little more about Ashraf Abu Omar, because he's an up-and-coming German player.
Yes, he's friends with a lot of the German pros. I see him frequently interacting on social media with them. He's a very fun guy. He actually played 3 GPs already. This is going to be the 4th one that he's qualified for. The last one he played was the one in Washington.
Okay.
So modern. Didn't go quite as well for him, but he'll be happy to be back on the tour. Well, on the other hand, Alex Telerov, for those who don't know, he's from Serbia. He was the captain of the team during the last World Magic Cup, where they managed to get the top 8, which was a fantastic result for such a country. He also already has a GP top 8 to his name previously, and he's known to be qualified for the Magic Online Championship Series.
Yeah, he just did the last one that occurred, and yeah, I mean, I've had the chance of playing against Alexa, and he's an extremely, he's probably quite new to the scene, but he's a player to watch for. He's definitely confirming with a second GP top 8 his results, has a really good approach to the game. And yeah, you can see also all that Magic Online practice paying off in Limited.
Yeah, actually, I would not say Alexa is new to the game, because I think he's been around, but I think he started to travel much more to the foreign tournaments, because I always thought he was a solid player, but he just didn't have the results to match because he didn't go to that many GPs. But I've seen him around top 8 contention several times, so he's been here before.
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing against Alexa actually for the top 8 at GP Milan. So yeah, again, he's very often in contention, and again, very impressed with his play.
I actually played against him in that tournament on day 1.
Fair enough.
So yeah, We're going to go to the bracket now. Quick recap, those of you just joining us. So we are now watching the match between Ashraf Abu Omar, who defeated Fabrizio Anteri, against Alexa Telerov, who eliminated the Pro Tour Fate Reforged champion Antonio Del Moral Leon. On the other side of the bracket, Sergei Suchalski fell down to Michael Bonde, who then was defeated by Francesco Giorgio, who is now waiting for his finals opponent, where Wenzel Krautmann didn't get too far, only getting a quarterfinals result, but he's really happy to be qualified for the Pro Tour again in his fifth GP Top 8.
Yeah, and Wenzel Krautmann with a very interesting approach to this draft format all day, because both drafts he was aggroing people out with Fairy Miscreant, the 1/1 flyer that could.
Yeah, draw you some cards. But yeah, we've seen Wenzel, a lot of these players just 6-0 the drafts to get there. I mean, we know Fabrizio certainly did, and we know Michael Bonde did as well, so did Wenzel Krautmann.
Yeah. Very difficult to 6-0 draft. Like, 3-0ing is already difficult enough, let alone 6-0.
Yeah, so Alexa Telerov is on a blue-green deck, has a Yavimaya Coast.
Yeah, again, we all as an interesting factoid for viewers just joining us, all 5 of the dual lands have been opened this draft.
Oh, interesting. 2 were in Michael Bonde's deck. 1 is in Alexa Telerov's deck, but I don't think the others found their way into the deck.
Not into those, but I've seen them around. So yeah, all 5 dual lands were opened this draft, which I thought is a.
It's pretty cute. Yeah, there's a Blessed Spirit from Ashraf, immediately shot down with an aerial volley.
Yeah, Alexa having none of it.
There's an Farik's Disciple, so a 2/3 Death Toucher. Pretty good against green-white. Just another Blessed Spirit for Ashraf Abu Omar, who we know also has a Nissa in his deck.
Yeah, indeed. He used it to good effect, actually, against Fabrizio in his first game of the quarterfinals.
Okay, so, ooh.
Enshrouding Mist is actually a really good answer here.
Yeah, because even if Alexa pumps here, the Blessed Spirits will survive, because Enshrouding makes sure that all damage is prevented. So that was actually a pretty good trade for Ashraf, because Alexa cannot do anything to develop his board further. And now let's see if Ashraf maybe has like something like Knightly Valor. That would be great. No,
he doesn't seem to. But even if he had Knightly Valor, Alexa has access to Claustrophobia, and he's being very conservative with it. He realizes that the Blessed Spirits is probably not going to be the biggest threat that Ashraf can produce. So and being in green-blue, he probably doesn't have access to ton of removal.
Yep.
So he wants to make sure that whenever he uses it, it's relevant.
Yeah, and there's a Vastwood Gorge, so Alexa Telerov being aggressive here and putting out a 5/6 on turn 6, while also having the 3/4 Death Toucher here. So let's see how Ashraf is going to try to recover from this, as he only has 4 lands for the time being, where Alex is already casting his 6 drops.
Yeah, from the previous game, you saw a Celestial Flare, which is his best answer. And it will get at least a Farika's Disciple, but both players into the race, because neither player can really block well, so might as well attack.
Yep. Swing for 3, Alexa down to 15, and a ring of Wingmare. Oh, that's a tongue twister.
Yeah, indeed. The interesting thing about the Wingmare here is that Ashraf kind of left 2 planes to symbolize Celestial Flare, but that's not happening with the Wingmare, since it makes non-creature spells cost 1 more. Wingmare in a normal draft format that's not Magic Origins would be actually a pretty high pick, in my opinion. But the fact that there are all these Thopters lying around make it a lot worse than usual.
Yeah, I agree with that. So there's a Claustrophobia on the Stalwart Avon, and Ashraf Abu Omar now getting untapped, but facing that huge Vastwood Gorger. Unfortunately for Ashraf, even if it did have land, I think he has like Gideon's Phalanx in his hand, which is pretty bad if you're also running a Rin Wingmare.
Yeah, I mean, 8 mana. That's an expensive. I mean, it is a game-winning spell, but that's a lot to spend. Yeah, and the Vastwood Gorger, I mean, just such a huge body. And actually, here's an interesting angle. Is maybe Ashraf is planning on using the Wingmare to block, simply to unlock his mana here.
Yeah, maybe. And there's a Crone Jailer as well. And I think Ashraf also had a Avon Battle Priest in his hand, so he might be already starting to chump block the Vastwood Gorger here and then try to use the Akron Jailer on the following turns.
Yeah, now Ashraf was probably planning on locking the Vastwood Gorger with the Akron Jailer, but Alexa drew a card that's going to make that plan a little more moot in Hangerback Walker.
Oh, that's the premier card for Alexa here. He's going to do some work.
Yeah, considered, I think, by quite a few players as the best possible rare you can open in Magic Origins. Not only is it incredibly potent and very difficult to get rid of, It also is colorless. So if you open it, you know you're running it. And yeah, here's the 4/4 hanger back walker.
Yeah, Ashraf really 2-for-1 himself there. Used the mighty leap to trade his Vryn Wingmare for the Farika's disciple, hoping that there would no big follow-up from Alexa, so that he can tap down his creatures with the Crone Jailer. But unfortunately for Ashraf, there's the hanging back walker as a 4/4.
Yeah, I mean, Ashraf has a few ways to buy time. He has access to Aven Battle Priest, which gains free life. I think here he's just deciding whether to use the Jailer or the Battle Priest. And then eventually he's going to cast a Gideon's Phalanx with Spell Mastery, hopefully ambushing Alexa. But at the same time, he has to. The problem is the Hangerback Walker. That thing cannot die. I don't think Ashraf is going to be able to really deal with 4/1/1 flyers or more. Yeah, and in green-white, is probably the best color to deal with the Hangerback Walker, but still a very potent threat.
Yeah, so Ashraf is basically putting his hopes on Alex not drawing a pump spell here, because he's going to tap down the Vast with Gorger, take the attack from Hangerback Walker to go down to 1, and hoping to draw a land here for the Gideon's Phalanx.
Yes, indeed. So if he gets Gideon's Phalanx, the creatures will be indestructible, which means that, assuming Alexa runs into it, the Vastwood Gorger will die and the Hangerback will be chump blocked. And there's a Claustrophobia. So now it's land or bust for Ashraf Abu Ammar.
Yeah, he has 6 lands. Is this 7? No, I think it was an end protection. However, it does have
the Battle Priest.
It does have the Battle Priest, so it will not. At least it can help him chump block for one more turn.
Yeah, I mean, here he can chump block, so he does have another shot at that land.
Yeah. Unless Alexa draws something really good here. So it's going to be the Battle Priest. No, it's going to go. Oh. Like, whoa.
Well, I tapped 6 lands. That's not symbolizing anything. Just ignore that.
Yeah, so there's an Emperor Protection, leaving up 2 white. That's interesting. So it's still at 1. It's like
like Alexa keeps his creatures tapped. Like
I really like his style. There's a ring ward now. I think that should be enough for this game, and we should be going down up to game 3. I think there was land. No. Well,
even if it was the ring ward and owl, like perfect. Yeah. Simply because you make 4 ground blockers. That's fantastic. I'm gonna go in the air for free.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I also didn't like him not playing the Aven Battle Priest that we think we had, because then he could have it could actually been good enough for at least a turn. So anyway, Ashraf Abu Ammar loses that one. He's going to go to game 3 between these 2 players, waiting on who's going to play Francesco Giorgio in the finals.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, we're winding down to the last rounds of this. I mean, we're down to 3 players, 1 waiting in the finals. It's I mean, it's been a great tournament. Right now, the sun's kind of set down in a literal sense, but we're still waiting to set down the stage here. We still have a game in the semifinals, and then we've got the finals coming up.
That's going to be exciting, because Francesco Giorgio's deck looked really sweet. Double Consul's Lieutenant, blue-white tempo deck, I would say. Also with a Sentinel of the Eternal Watch. That card has been impressing me all weekend long. I thought that card is bonkers already, but I've seen it being played this weekend. It just like solidified to me the opinion that I think it's better than World Rogue.
Really? Okay, fair enough. I mean, if you can cast it, it is.
Yeah.
I'm still solidly in camp World Rogue, because I love the number of abilities that card gives you for 4 mana is incredible.
Okay, you're right. I was maybe a little too hasty there. World Rogue is an amazing card too. It's also cheaper.
Yeah.
That's so much. All right, fair enough. But like, whenever Sentinel was in play, is almost always won.
It's always incredible. But actually, we saw in the draft, Antonio Del Moran Leon had the choice between World Rogue and Sentinels. It was in pack 2, and he wasn't really in white, so it wasn't too bad.
Well, there we go then.
But I wonder what he would have taken pick 1, pack 1. That's possibly the hardest decision in Magic Origins.
I think, considering the decks that Antonio had been drafting, I think he would have gone for the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Just because we've seen him play a lot of green-white and green-black-white decks.
That's fair enough. I mean, Sentinel's an extremely good card. How good would it be, do you think, in battle for Zendikar with all the Eldrazi?
Pretty sweet. Tap down your breaker,
8/9 Trampler.
Breaker of Armies, the 10/8, your 8/9, yeah, for 8 mana. I forgot those names. They were all super scary. I'm actually really looking forward to the Battle of Zendikar pre-release weekend because I want to cast some Eldrazi.
So many changes though coming with that set. I mean, even in a technical sense, the Vancouver Mulligan rule being adopted is going to make it very interesting.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that change. I think it will have a positive impact on the game, and looking forward to also coming to Magic Online so I can improve my draws against the shuffler, as they like to say. No, but to be serious, just in general, I think Battle for Zendikar is going to be a great set. The cards I'm really excited about are the new dual lands, the friendly allied pairs.
Sure.
With controversial naming, I don't really want to say anything because it has been a controversial topic. So I'll just say the Battle for Zendikar duels.
I think that's a very fair way of putting it.
Battle duels.
Battle duels was a good nickname too.
Yeah, because some people actually thought battle duels are the manlands because the manlands that dual lands that battle. So it's just complicated. But speaking of which, I also really like the dual lands. Both the blue-green and the white-black one that we saw so far look great.
I mean, I'm personally looking forward to seeing which one of the blue-red or red-white one they're spoiling to see what goes well in my Jeskai Ascendancy combo deck in the future.
Oh, please. So you're just looking forward to a very cheap activation, hopefully.
Yeah. If it could cost like 2, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, blue and red. Yeah, right.
I know it'd be like probably 1 blue-red, but here's hoping.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I would like a blue-red manland as well for Modern.
Of course, yeah. Especially with a cool ability, that would be nice. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are excited for any of these nice manlands because, to be fair, the allied ones have seen a lot of play. We've seen Raging Ravine being popular. I was watching the stream of Oklahoma City between rounds, and I saw Stirring Wildwood being played as well. Creeping Tar Pit I played last weekend at the World Magic Qualifier. Those lands have been very popular. And
only Lava Claw Reaches hasn't really done the gap to Modern. And
Celestial Colonnade also.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Celestial Colonnade, as
same here.
Some viewers may know, but yes. Fantastic. Sarah Sphinx / Sarah Angel land.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I really like Celestial Colonnade as well. So players still shuffling up. They're taking their time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to ease the tension, just shuffling. But you and me and the viewers at home want to make sure. I mean, Alexa is laughing, but I think he's actually considering his sideboard option, making sure that everything is up to par. He's just, looking at the Scab Goliath, just thinking, is it worth it? Is it not? And, just making sure that he submits the 40 cards that he believes will allow him to advance to the finals.
No, he sideboards it out. Slow roll. He's going to put in Jiraiya Invocation.
Deciding for another big effect. And what do you think of that against Ashraf Abu Omar's green-white deck?
Well, I think Alexa has actually, thinking back to game 1, which stalled out in a spectacular fashion, and he's probably thinking that he might need the Invocation to break a board stall.
Yeah, and I think that makes complete sense. The only card that really punishes it would be the Archangel of Ties, if it was to be untapped. But Alexa has at least access to 2 Claustrophobias, and he could always have a bonded Krasis, which is probably why he's in blue-green, as Joel Larson keeps saying.
Yeah, potentially. But we'll see. I mean, I think Ashraf deck is set up in such a way that if Ashraf gets ahead, Alexa might actually have trouble clawing his way back into the game. That's why I don't particularly like the Jiraiya Invocation. But if the board stalls out, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, Ashraf having played tons of evasive flyers.
Yeah, exactly.
And Alexa didn't seem to have many ways of stopping those.
Yeah, and to be fair, the Goliath is not that great if the creatures are not trading. And if he's getting beaten down by flyers and can't get rid of his creatures on the board to cast a Goliath, it's not that great. At least Invocation can do something.
Yeah, so, okay, that's fair enough. Replacing a 6-mana effect with another, making sure you can push in that damage. And it's, I mean, even if it's conditional, it's a very important effect to get right. So, I mean, if you imagine if that's the card that makes him win, the card that he took 3, 4, 5 minutes to decide, squeaked it in, and that's what wins him the game, that would be fantastic, actually.
Yeah. So there's... Look, I think what I like about Alexa is he's a very straightforward person. He's also has this I would say poker face in a way. He's not giving anything away.
Yeah.
But once the game is heading towards a certain way, he uses the shortcuts and everything because he knows exactly what is going on in the game. Yeah. As Ashraf Abu Omar starts off on the plains, Alexa has an island. He also has Leaf Gilder into Aspiring Aeronaut,
Yeah.
into Ring Warden potentially.
That's a very good start. And yeah, I love how these players also start with a smile and a laugh. But the fact that Ashraf here starts with sidearms and Alexa starts with Leaf Gilder, to me points out that Alexa is ahead. And I love how he reveals the Aeronaut. That is probably also going to hit the table, to be fair.
Yeah, he's playing for the cameras at home. And we know that there's a lot of fans in the Twitch chat following how like rolling up his sleeves,
Yeah.
cracking his knuckles. It's like, yeah, this is getting serious here.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting serious. There's quite a bit of money on the line. And, I mean, to be fair, even the prestige of winning a Grand Prix, not one I unfortunately share with you, Matej, but you could let the viewers know at home how it is.
I could. I just focus on the game here as
That's fair enough.
Ashraf just plays the Vryn Wingmare, hoping it would slow down Alexa, but I don't think it will because Alexa's blue-green deck is what I like to call mono creatures.
Mono creatures. Yeah, and here you can see why the Wingmare not so high a pick as many people would think because of those Fopters. Although the Veteran sidearm will at least make it trade if Alexa decides to block with both creatures.
Yeah, it's going to equip the Wingmare here.
Yeah, the other alternative is if Ashraf thinks he can win the long game, he can also decline to attack and basically block the Aeronaut and blank them both. But he's currently winning the race.
Winging the race. Very nice. Very nice. So there's an attack for 3 from Ashraf, putting Alexa Teller down to 17. But it looks like Ashraf doesn't have a 4th land. And if he has some non-creature spells, that Wingmare might actually, from a Wingmare into Nightmare. That's
yeah,
for sure.
For sure. And even here, when my opponent in this position doesn't attack with Leaf Gilder, I start worrying a lot.
There's a Ring Warden Owl.
Yeah.
Finally get to pronounce it properly.
Yeah, and Ashraf at least draws the forest, so he's not completely behind. Oh,
there
and
we
this
go.
might be why he might actually have declined to play a land just to get that extra bit of value from the Knight of the White Orchid.
Yeah, so gets the planes out of his deck. I love this card.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Getting all the value.
Yeah. A very good reprint from, Shards of Alara.
Indeed. I was really happy to dig into my Shards of Alara box and pick up these bad boys for standard.
Yeah, and as it gets a plains card. That doesn't mean it has to be a basic land.
Yeah, so that means that one of the new Battle for Zendikar duels can be fetched up with Knight of White Orchid, and I'm looking forward to seeing this interaction happen.
See, that's an interaction I'm looking forward to as well. Yeah. But yeah, Ashraf kind of has his own Leaf Gilder, permanent and with first strike.
Yeah, but Alexa already swinging in with his Ring Warden Owl. I'm surprised he didn't also go with some of the top tiers because he has Titanic Growth in his hand, but it goes for the Artificer's Epiphany.
Oh, and gets, and the owl gets eaten by the Enshrouding Mist.
Yeah, it does indeed. But at least Alexa got to draw 2 cards. Also, he can play a Visionary, draw another card, and he has a Meteorite for next turn.
Did you see what I saw?
A Joraga Invocation.
Yeah, the Wingmare stopping it for a little while since you don't want to tap out with Leaf Gilder for it. You'd rather the Leaf Gilder gets in and deals damage.
Yeah, but I think Alexa has a clear game plan now. He's not going to be trading creatures here just because he wants to set up a lethal or semi-lethal Joraga Invocation, as Ashraf Abu Omar has to catch up in developing his board.
Yeah, so he's probably not happy here about this attack, simply because it makes it difficult. Although it is +3/+3. Yeah. Rather than trading, he could just go for the win.
Maybe.
Yeah, because it's a lot of damage. It's +12.
It doesn't have a land in his hand, so I think he's just gonna be playing conservatively during his turn with the Meteorite. Yeah,
the Meteorite's fine.
Killing the Wingmare.
Gets him to 6 mana. Kills the Wingmare. Putting less pressure on him, allowing him to maybe get that 1 or 2 points of damage in with his flyers, and set the stage for a very, very large invocation. And here, Alexa considering it, but I think ultimately he's correct in just taking it.
Drops down to 12.
Oh, 3 plains, 1 forest.
What could that mean? Ooh, Archangel of Tides. Now that's a card.
Yeah, 4/6 flyer. It's not small.
Not small indeed, but I think Alexa does have a Claustrophobia in his hand.
I don't see one. I think he has actually,
Or
and
is
I'm going to need to check the name of this card, a rare, very similar to Deceiver Exarch in a way.
okay.
I think it's a Mizium Meddler.
Okay.
The 1/4 with
interesting.
Flash, which may change the target of a speller ability to Mizium Meddler when it enters the battlefield.
So what we thought was a foregone conclusion in this game. Ashraf Abu Omar is climbing back with vengeance here by playing that Archangel and putting the sidearms on it. So it's a pretty angry Archangel here at 4/6, and having those abilities being useful on offense and defense as well.
Yeah, and here it's a little bit difficult to see what to do, but I think Alexa's plan is to entice Ashraf to think he's the aggressive player, make him attack with the Archangel of Ties, and then swing back for lethal, if he can.
If he can, but I mean he can pop this up. I don't think he has lethal just yet, right? I mean he's
Ashraf
one
could
short.
And Ashraf could easily play a creature, which makes it
Exactly.
worse.
So
Yeah, coming in for 6 damage here.
Alex is almost priced into chump blocking here. Yeah, so gonna block the Archangel, drop down to 10. Now that it's off the board, we know that Alexa will have a much easier time playing cards here. There's War Oracle. There's a Crone Jailer.
Yeah,
A great turn for Ashraf.
Yeah, it's making Alexa's life actually quite difficult here. Yeah, although, yeah, and the aerial volley he drew, I think Archangel is slightly above what's needed to get rid of it. Yeah, a lot of options in hand, though, from Alexa's side, so hopefully he can string something together here.
I mean, he has a lot of options. I mean, 6 cards.
Yeah.
How much mana does he have? 6, 7, potentially 7 mana.
Yeah.
He has to count also with the Archangel of Tides ability.
Yeah,
that
and
makes
the
it hard
War
to block.
Oracle.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of these things, like going back and forth, and just passes.
Go. Wow. So, I mean, Ashraf should be scared here a little.
Or reassured.
Or reassured. Depends on what he has in his hand. We can't really see much. He's keeping his cards close to his chest.
Yeah, I mean, Alexa might be planning to Titanic Growth the Aeronaut, but that's not quite enough. So, but with the Aerial Volley, it is. And he has the 1/4 to redirect. But yeah, here's a Nissa, also a new threat.
Yeah, new threat. So, Ashraf Abu Omar gets a 6th land. So just one. He will be 1 land away from flipping Nissa Vastwood Seer into a Nissa Sage Animist.
Yeah. But I think the decision from Alexa to board in the Joraga's Invocation was correct, since it actually gives him a game plan where he might be able to win the game. Without that card, it actually seems like he would fall way too far behind and not be able to climb back up.
So there's the forest that he had just searched up. Taps down the Aeronaut.
I think this is a good time to
for Mizzy Meddler, yeah.
Yeah, and that leaves Alexa with just enough mana, I believe.
You can see how Alexa just plays it, taps it immediately, and just doesn't even wait for a pause. It's like, this happened.
Yeah.
Keep going. Like, show me what else you got.
Yeah, and now Ashraf is thinking about it. He could wait till next turn if he was worried that Alexa might have an answer to the Archangel, which is a very conservative line here. Yeah, instead decides to pile on the pressure.
Yeah, and Alexa having that Titanic Growth, it still can't kill. It still can't kill the Archangel Tide, who's a 4/6, and he can pop up his Aspiring Aeronaut to a 5/6, I think.
Yeah, but then he has access to Aerial Volley, so he does trade 2 cards.
True, yeah, but
it's good enough, I think. So that's his plan.
So he paid the mana to block.
Yep, deals it damage. And, I mean, it's still not great because Ashraf is going to go up to 21, Alexa down to 5, renowing his War Oracle. So he's not out of the woods yet.
No, certainly not, but at least he will again untap. I think he also has another creature to play. Also has the Farika's Disciple, which can trade with the War Oracle. So I think he's, I wouldn't say out of the woods, but he's getting there.
Yeah.
Did we forget Renown there?
Oh, that would be unfortunate if Ashraf did. I mean, at this point, it wouldn't change anything, but yes. Seems like there's a question about the Leaf Gilder. It's a bit strange, but no, it seems fine. Yeah, it just seems like Renown has been for.
Now he notices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like both players chuckle a little here. Interesting enough, Alexa Telerov has the Joraga Invocation, but he's not close to lethal just yet.
No, killing Nissa not enough. Here, I think the best plan is just to deploy 2 creatures. Since Ashraf doesn't have any creatures with evasion, that's going to incentivize him to stay back. And staying back is exactly what Alexa wants him to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Alexa's still considering his options. I don't think there's tons of them, and I don't know if he's basically probably considering whether to attack with the Aeronaut or not.
I just want. I don't know what the green card in his hand is there. I mean, we see Farik's Disciple and the Jiraga Invocation, and we know he has Screeching Scab. There's one more green card he has in his hand, but I can't see what it is.
I think it's the one he literally just drew, which is why he had the other 3 cards beforehand.
Yes, he did.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna see probably that card at some point. But in the meantime, he plays a Farika's Disciple and a Screeching Scab.
It's an Orchard
Spirit. Orchard Spirit, right.
Yeah, that's the card. So
Yeah.
developing his board now, it's going to be very interesting because if Ashraf doesn't attack with many creatures, and the Jiraga Invocation on the following turn could be very dangerous.
Yeah, so here he's considering an attack. He considered with Aeronauts. Basically, if I attack, is there a block that Ashraf is going to be still wary of? And if the answer to that is no, he wants to keep it back to make sure that Ashraf stays back. And yeah, that Jiraga's Invocation, I love the fact that Alexa boarded it in, considered it for 4 minutes. I don't know how much time, 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's his outs. But, Nissa flipping, probably making a 4/4 right away. A lot of value here being gained by Ashraf. He might also draw a card.
He can also plus. He's on 21, so maybe he wants to get it. Maybe out of some. If he minuses, he almost it dies to either Orchard Spirit or Aspiring Aeronaut. So even though he has Necro in jail, so I think he wants to plus it first.
That's fair. That's a very fair enough comment. So start to draw cards. But yeah, the other thing with Invocation is he can't double block a creature to make it survive. But no, he decides to go for the 4/4.
Okay.
Not afraid of it dying, but that might be because he has an Aven Battle Priest.
Okay.
Tapping 6 mana. Going to 24.
And is he going to pass the turn? Because if he does, his board is going to get obliterated.
Yeah, the Aven Battle Priest forced to block the Orchard Spirits. Or the Aeronaut. It doesn't really matter in that sense. Yeah, it's... Wow, this is... Alexa planned it up this way. He, from the start of the game, he drew it up this way. Wow. Yeah, Jiraga's Invocation. I can't see Alexa not slamming that card right here.
No, but the problem is if he slams it here, there's still a way for him to, I guess, lose on the backswing in a way. Is there?
Basically, the thing is, each creature must be blocked if able. Alexa is offering 6 creatures, which means that if he attacks with at least 5, Ashraf will be forced to at least block 1 on each. Since they get +3/+3, there's no creature on Ashraf's side that will survive it, which means that Alexa can here kill Ashraf's entire board. Unless I've miscounted here.
No, I think you're right. Ashraf just using his mana to develop his board instead of attacking.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, he goes like, what? Invocation? So, yeah, Alexa's just trying to figure out what he's going to do here. So every creature has to be blocked, but he attacks with everything.
Yeah, but I mean, this way, he can attack with both onto Nissa, force the Aven Battle Priest to block, have the Nissa die, have everything die. I mean, basically, Alexa is probably going to lose a Leaf Gilder here because he... it's going to be a 5/4, and that's Ashraf's best block. But this is still, this is still awful for Ashraf.
Yeah, even him not remembering the trigger from the work, I don't think changes much.
It means the Elvish Visionary survives, essentially.
Sure, yeah.
And it gains him 1 less life. So it's still relevant. Not tons, but it could be.
Yeah. Remember, every creature has to be blocked if able. So Ashraf just lining up, trying to figure out the best blocks he can do here, but his board is perfect to get wrecked by a Jiraga Invocation.
Yeah, I think he has to have the flyer blocking one of the flyers here, or am I incorrect in saying this?
No, just every creature has to be blocked if able. He can double block, right?
Yeah,
no,
but
that's what. Yeah.
Sorry, this is what I meant.
Yeah.
He is able to block one of the flyers here. So he should have his Aven Battle Priest blocking one of the flyers.
Just because the Crone Jailer has to block as well.
Well, it doesn't, but each creature must be blocked. But he's capable of blocking one of the flyers.
Yes.
So that does mean that, yes, he has to block one of those, and the jailer has to get in the way of Elvish Visionary.
Yeah. As you see, the card says like each creature must be blocked if able, and you can't just block one creature with all your guys.
Yeah, exactly. So Ashraf at 27 life, but that's probably the only thing going well for him, as look at this.
It's like, boom. Did he attack Nissa?
I would hope so.
Yes,
Yeah.
He did.
So the Live Gilder should be dead now.
Yes.
I think Alexa's happy with that. That's okay.
Well,
Yeah.
and Ashraf's like, well, this didn't go as well as I had hoped.
Yeah, and I love how Alexa has planned this from like the start of the game. 29 life, but I don't think that's gonna matter much.
No.
Although Ashraf has tons of time, being at 29 life and not facing, to be fair, that much pressure.
There's claustrophobia and screeching scab in Alexa's hand, but he'll be happy with how the board has turned out for him. So
Yeah.
Alexa is in prime position.
Yeah, I don't even think he should use the claustrophobia here.
Same here, yeah.
Just attack here for 5. I mean, Ashraf could trade his free for the Farika's Disciple, which I think is the correct trade here.
Yeah, it's still fine because Alexa can then claustrophobia the following play. So putting Ashraf down to 26, milling 2 of his cards, 2 lands. How
Perfect.
convenient.
How convenient, as they say.
At this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Ashraf's best draw seems to be Gideon's Phalanx, but I think the way Alexis played, yeah, he's not going to give it up. But yeah, even that flyer, that's a claustrophobic.
That's a claustrophobia if I've ever seen one. So it gets dealt with that and swinging with everything.
Yeah, green-white, not known for its haste creatures. Although if Ashraf has to get his revenge, that would be the saddest ending.
Yeah, Gideon's Phalanx would still be really good here.
Yeah, of course, but it's still an instant, and Ashraf didn't have 7 mana untapped.
Yeah.
So now the question is, how much does Alexa play around Gideon's Phalanx? I think he just
Not
decides
at all.
he can't win against that card, so might as well get in there. Yeah, and that's the card Ashraf needs. It looks like plains. I mean,
Yeah, Alexa Teleroff just swinging and swinging.
yeah, swinging with that Raktan bunch, a zombie, a
Shove up
Vedelkin
Lumar down to
wizard, an
5.
elf shaman. Yeah, it's just wow.
Alexa Teleroff with that one Dragon invocation that he deliberated for so long before adding, and it was the winning card, whereas the Goliath, the Scalp Goliath he was considering would have done nothing.
Yeah,
Completely nothing. That just shows you how sideboarding is important and how he just made the very right play.
yeah. I actually,
amazing.
I really loved how he was like so pained, like that Scab Goliath is like, okay, Draga's invocation, and then draws it. And the best part is